Hey everyone, welcome to yet another live stream. Usually I do this every 1 month only, and I decided this time because many of you guys asked me to do this again. This time a little bit different. I will ask you for your search terms for your next video you wanna do, and I do the full research for you. And let's see, that's a really tough challenge, by the way. I'm not sure if I can accomplish that in a short amount of time. As you know, it's sometimes really difficult to find less competitive search terms, right? So let me see how that goes. All right. Thanks for everyone who already joined the chat even before um, the stream started. I really hope that the quality will be good enough for you. Somehow I have not, could be a little bit buffering. Let's see. Anyway, yeah, welcome, SF Digital Studios. Long time no see, I think, but I'm your long time subscriber already. Go Groomer is new. Hi, welcome to my channel. Simply Tanika, I think I saw you before, right? And Rodney, old pal, cool to have you here as well. Eugen, I think from Greek, maybe, if I remember correctly, or some country nearby there. Cricket, how are you doing? Ashnat Ashu, Anshu, sorry, you're new, right? Welcome to my channel. DSL Chronicles, how are you doing? I recently saw a tweet from you, I think. Thank you very much for that. Hi, you real estate whisperer. By the way, it was really fun to look into your videos. She actually joined me in the AMA I did 2 weeks back, and she's doing real estate videos. In a sense, she sells houses, but her channel is really like the combination of it, learning how to become a real estate person, and as well really entertaining. So it's quite interesting to see actually how she made this balance between knowledge transfer and yeah, entertaining people. All right, Yanami, how are you doing? You're new, so welcome to my channel. Pam, old friend, welcome. Yeah, big crowd. I'm really happy to have you all here. All right, as I said before, please, while you are listening and chatting, already think about a search term that you might want to use for your next video you are planning. It doesn't have to be a search term that's already low competitive enough for you to actually be one that you can target, because I will take it then and then do the research for you basically. And let's see what comes out of it. It's really a big challenge, not so easy to do actually. So let's see how I can manage to do that even live. All right. I would say let's get started. Um, so please put in the chat at Morningfame so I can more easily see your chat message, plus a search term roughly that you want to use for your next video. I will then look through them, and the one that catches my attention, um, I will pick and then do the keyword research for that. And let's see how we can improve the SEO for that. And let's see. All right. Chat messages are coming in. I think at this time I have low latency, so the what I say and what you chat is kind of uh, near real time. Hanging out in the woods. WhatsApp deleted messages. All right. I don't use WhatsApp anymore, but that's a really good questions. Cool search terms. All right. Yeah, cool, Pam. having these great research sessions, right? It's kind of cool to have everything prepared. I frankly do it usually last minute. I should do it myself a little bit earlier. But yeah. All right. Oh, that's cool. Road Media says ghost stories from a haunted abandoned school. Um, let's take that. I will do multiple search terms, so you have still a chance to be the next one. But let's start with this one: haunted road media, ghost stories for a haunted abandoned school. It is quite interesting, by the way. Of course, I'm observing the channels that are signed on onto Morningfame to learn a little bit more about all the niches and stuff, so that I better understand how I could help all you, right? And it was quite interesting. I saw multiple channels that were about haunted, not haunted, but abandoned buildings and abandoned yeah, factories and all that stuff. And all of those I saw were growing at a really amazing pace. The same, by the way, happened recently with the cryptocurrency channels. It is, I think, a little bit difficult nowadays to be that successful as well, because, of course, many channels are about that. So the competition grows very fast, and those who start later have a tougher time. But abandoned buildings is something that really people are interested in. So it's a really great niche, and we can already see that my microphone is not loud enough. Let's see. I can move it up a little bit. Let me know if the crackling comes in. Is this a little bit better? I have to be careful that no crackling comes in. It's a little bit tough to get the levels right. All right. We can see here already Haunted Road Media, 6,000 subscribers. So you're really on a great path. 600,000 views. So you're doing really well to get promoted on YouTube already. Let's quickly jump over. This time I will not review your stuff directly, but instead I will do the keyword research in this sense. So let me see again. You said ghost stories from a haunted abandoned school. Let's see if there's ghost stories from a haunted house is, for example, a search term, which is too competitive for you still. And that is, of course, as I always say, that is the crucial part in keyword research. To really get a search term that is not too competitive, so you have a chance to actually rank. What I often see people doing is looking at the 82, which is the search volume level. So it has a lot of search volume, but it doesn't matter if you don't rank, right? So at first you have to look at the grades, especially the first 3 grades, to get proper grades, so you actually have a chance to rank and actually get a piece of the search traffic. Otherwise you get 0 basically, right? So that is the most important step. Ghost stories of a haunted house. Let's see if there is something similar already suggested with the suggestions plus. That's always my first step to take, but that's not the case. You said in a haunted abandoned school. Let's maybe abandoned school. Okay. Let's maybe go this route, because the idea is, of course, if you start with a search term, usually you go more long tail. Yeah, and that's also where the suggestions plus really help, because haunted abandoned school, we entered that, and now gone wrong is a long tail search term. Yeah. Which is usually less competitive. Not in this case, it's just a rule of thumb that doesn't always happen this way. By the way, you can just enter the plus with the keyboard here and then get the suggestions plus this way. You don't have to click the link. It's quite neat to use. Exploring haunted abandoned school. That's a longer tail keyword, where a search term where there's a one sentence edit at the beginning. All right, that is still too competitive. Oh my god, I'm getting big problems here. Let's see. Explore place, school, ghost story. We don't have that here. Ghost in abandoned school. Maybe the same thing in a different way. This is also too competitive. That's really a challenge here, you know. Ghost abandoned houses. Maybe this way. Oh, we are getting at a better point here. I mean, school, house, it could still fit. Yeah. Of course, we have to be careful here. If we go this route, then this one, I'm assuming your video will be about a ghost story and an abandoned school, obviously, right? But if we are saying abandoned house, this brings different people to your video. Those who are looking for abandoned houses, not abandoned school. So the mindset of the people who enter the search term and find your video because of that is a different one. Yeah. But I would say in this case, I mean, abandoned house or abandoned school, that's still okay, right? I mean, school is something special, maybe even cooler than the generic house term. Here you don't, your video, even though it's talking about the school, it will still deliver on the expectations of people who are looking just for houses in general, right? So it's okay. That's one point, yeah. If you're looking for search terms that really are less competitive enough for you, then you have to look left and right usually, because the competition is often very tough. And then you slowly drift into slightly different search terms, and be careful there, because then you bring on different audiences with different expectations. And in this case, then it could happen that the video doesn't deliver on their expectations anymore. So that's actually a reason why you should do keyword research before you create your video. So in this case, I bet, of course, in your case, it's hard to find those locations where you film, and you obviously have this abandoned school as your filming location at hand already. So it's hard to find a different filming location. So there are limitations, of course, but basically you could now say, okay, if I can rank for abandoned house, then maybe I look for do a video about abandoned house instead, other than a school, right? So it's always a good idea to do keyword research beforehand, because then you are able to look more left and right for the available search terms you have that are less competitive enough, and then do the video to match that search term, so it delivers on the expectations people have who will enter that search term and find your video based on that. But anyway, in this case, abandoned school, abandoned house, that is close enough. I don't think that you there is a mismatch between expectations and what your video delivers. And it's a good start here. Abandoned ghost in abandoned houses. Longer tail search terms do not exist. ghost story in abandoned ghost story in abandoned house. Let's see, what do we have here as the search terms? The usual search bar suggestions don't work here anymore. Let's see what videos we get here. Abandoned house, these things. What do they have as tags? Oh, that's bad tags. Those don't really help us here. No long tail search terms. Real ghost and caught on tape. Is it a real ghost by any chance you're talking about? Ghost Adventures, Abandoned School. Oh, thanks, Rodney. Let's see that. Ghost Adventures, Abandoned Hospital, School, House, Abandoned House. I don't see abandoned. Let's go here first and here. Now we are already a little bit better. Here CEE. That's already in the ballpark where we can say maybe it's a possibility, but the views are far apart from the gateway videos, so that would be taking too much risk. You say there's also school? No, school is not. Oh, there is. Abandoned school. Wow. Views is an F. Views is an F. That's too much of a risk. Prison, I mean, that's completely different. Here we would have an issue about not delivering on the expectations of the people who search anymore, because prison and school is really something different. So we couldn't do that. Abandoned house, maybe. Yeah, that's also, that's becoming difficult, but it's hospital. That's also different expectations. All right. I would say it would take me a little bit longer to actually find those search terms, and so you don't have to follow me along and it's taking too long. I would say let's just go for that one. Or let me see, we had something, house was a little bit better. House, prison, house, ghost adventure, no school. There was one with an E. Can I remember? How about high school or elementary school? A good idea, but I think we don't have search terms here for that. Ghost adventures, abandoned school, ghost adventures, ghost. We can get high school ghost, high school ghost story. That's also a different way to explain that. Too competitive. Yeah, here we don't have a route to go more long tail either. Let's see what we have as a search results. That is usually also a strategy you can go for. So, for example, here, let's see, this one seems to be tagged quite well. We can go to step 2 to get more keyword suggestions. Yeah. High school horror story, for example. Yeah. This one, yeah, would be an interesting take. It's too competitive still. Horror story, my high school, true high school horror story. Too competitive. So let's go back. Maybe we have some more here. True scary school stories. How about this, for example? It's too competitive. True scary middle school stories. I think here's true scary stories that happened in school, still too competitive. Wow. Obviously, it is a very competitive niche. Rodney says Ghost Adventures High School Story. Adventures High School. Wow. Thanks, Rodney. Very ingenious. Perfect. Now we have something that's perfectly in your ballpark. I mean, yeah, the grades are just great. Here we go. Perfect. It takes a little bit of creativity, yeah, and frankly, doing that live is a little bit tough to do. Thanks so much for your help, Rodney. That really, yeah, bingo. Yeah, and even we can say it has a lot of search volume. So perfect. Let's go for that. Let's optimize for that. Okay, Ghost Adventure High School. And I think that what would you say? That would pretty much match what you originally intended to do with this video, right? So Ghost Adventures. Let's type it. High school. You said high school. Scary, haunted, abandoned school. Yeah, maybe that's usually what Brian G tells us. Yeah, if we do this title, we of course start with the search term, and then we add an intriguing element, and maybe abandoned because that was not in there anymore. We add that as like the extra kicker, so to say, right? So uh, uh, and now we improve, of course, the description. Just a few days ago, I was walking home at night and saw the abandoned yeah, I don't know, the whatever it's called, high school. I looked the window and saw a ghost. Yeah, this was the scariest ghost adventure I ever had. Yeah, something teaser, something along the line. So I'm trying to incorporate um, the search term in some sense, right? So that it is relevant for that. And maybe we ask a question and say like, did you ever had ghost adventures in your high school? Let me know in the comments. Something like that, for example, yeah. And now we have Ghost Adventures High School here as well. So this way, I'm not at the full percentage for the relevance yet, because I have a little bit of a difficulty to include the full search term as it is, like in the same order. Ghost Adventures High School is switched, and words in between, that's not exactly the full thing in there, but it's close enough, I would say. So let's go for that. And let's look, what do we have here? Horror, clown motel. I would say in this case, since we did so lot, so much of researching. We can go through the search history. First of all, we remove these Halloween horror, maybe it's okay. And these don't make much sense. And yeah, let's go here. We enter this one because the title is not only the target search term, so we add that as a tag. Then true scary stories, yeah, fits. School story, true high school horror story, yeah, perfect. High school abandoned hospital, that was not abandoned house. School ghost adventures abandoned, ghost abandoned houses, works exploring abandoned school. Perfect. Not a lot of work to do anymore, since yeah, we already have done this research. Gone wrong, maybe. I mean, maybe it went wrong. Now we even are at the 500 character limits already. We have 31%. It's not perfect yet. Let's see what the suggestions plus. Yeah, okay, it's probably not the Goldfield High Schools, so we couldn't use this one. But yeah, let's go for this one. It's not 100% optimized yet, but we have an relevance A, 82%. I mean, the average for the search results is really low. So these metadata are so highly relevant that they set themselves apart from the rest, from the average, a lot already. That's, by the way, how the relevance grade is calculated. What is the difference between the average here, the 20% line, and your own relevance? Yeah, and that's a 62 percentage points difference. So that really taps into the opportunity to be a much more relevant video anywhere. All right. What we can do now in order to improve the appeal of the metadata in addition to that is some of you guys have already seen this highlight tags feature. It's currently available for all early access users. And in a week or so, after I got a little bit of feedback, everyone else will get that as well, which basically underlines the search terms you put as tags here. So you can put in a few more search terms into your description as well to improve your SEO a little bit further. That's basically, yeah, going expert mode, you can say. So let's see what we can do here. It's not the goal to include all the tags in here, just to add a few to make your video more clearly about the topic in the eyes of the YouTube algorithm. So what do we have here? I saw one that I could include. You have never seen such a ghost high school ghost story before. It scared the crap out of me. Yeah, for example, like this. And now you can see this is underlined because that is also a tag we use here. High school ghost story. And yeah, with that, we add a little bit more keywords for the search engine to get a grip on, and that it's an additional benefit here. We can go even further here to make it a little bit more, but yeah, let's save a little bit of time for the next search terms. All right. I hope that is already inspiring for all of you. Yeah, a little bit of swearing is okay, I hope. Do you have any questions about that before we start with the next search term? For hopefully a completely different niche? How do you think if we'd write a script packed with keyword and include it in the CC, will SEO improve dramatically? Um, a good question, Yanami. It is actually the case that also the same thing I just did for this description, yeah, that I put in there in natural language, of course, not just pasting the tags that would be detected as spam from YouTube, but yeah, including those search terms into the natural language we are using in the description. The same technique also applies to what you say in your video. That's really important as well. Actually, the closed captions have a very big importance. There was a study made by Matt Gillian in 2016. It's not too recent anymore, but it's a very yeah, comprehensive study. And he found out that the closed captions, what you say in your video, are even more important than the description or the title. Description and title, according to this study, together are more important than the closed captions alone. But anyway, I just want to state that what you say in your video is really important. So it is indeed a good idea when you write your script, and also a reason why to do keyword research before you start working on your video, because then you know which search terms you are targeting. So it's a good idea to include those search terms into what you say as well. I wouldn't go as far as pasting your full script you have into your description. Because, you know, this is basically duplicating the information YouTube already has. Because YouTube certainly analyzes your closed captions, those that are automatically generated. By the way, if you wonder if you need to upload your own closed captions or if you can just use the automatically generated closed captions, I once did a study. There's a video about that on my channel. The automatically generated closed captions are good enough for SEO purposes. Yeah, there are other reasons to improve what I usually do. For example, I go through the closed captions and improve punctuations, for example, so you can better read them and correct a few spelling mistakes, some words that the machine didn't understand correctly. For the humans, also sometimes depending on what accent you have, and certainly I do have an accent that is quite unique, so the machine doesn't really understand some of my words. For example, I once did a video about tags, YouTube tags, metadata tags, and every time I said the word tag in the plural, tags, it was understanding text, like in writing, text. So I had to replace that word everywhere. If I wouldn't have done that, then a very important keyword for that video would have gone missing, just missing. So YouTube was getting the wrong idea about the video. So just check a few videos of yours, how well the automatically closed captions are generated, whether it's usually understanding you well and transcribing what you say correctly. If that's the case, you can leave them untouched for SEO purposes. It's enough. So then YouTube already has all that information. So it's not necessary to put that into your description. Better use the description for other things. Write an introduction for the video with other words. So you add additional information that additionally would help YouTube better understand the topic of your video. Yeah, that would be my recommendation at that point. Yeah, Michelle, that's true. Yeah, in Dutch, if you speak like this, I think Yeah, of course, you speak original in Dutch, right? That's your native language. But maybe sometimes it's thinking you're speaking German. Because in my case, sometimes it's really thinking I'm speaking Dutch. Even though I'm German and speak English, the closed captions are in Dutch for some reason. Um, yeah, and then I have to completely rewrite the closed captions, but I do it anyway because it's really important to do. And as well, of course, it's important for people who want to listen to the video without sound or are, yeah, English is not their native language. It's better to have the text there as well to better understand what I speak. So it's a good thing to work on that, to have that properly in place. Yeah, just for SEO purposes, the closed captions that are automatically generated are usually okay. Okay, let's go. Rev.com is a good service for captioning, indeed. Not too expensive actually. If you do the closed captions for your language you are speaking, then it's not too expensive. I think $1 per minute of video. So really, but I recently looked into translating closed captions. Yeah. Because, for example, I have many users who speak Spanish or French. So this then at ref.com gets quite expensive, unfortunately. Too much for me, actually. But you know, there is a tool. Once you have a properly formatted, spelling mistakes removed, everything properly done in your closed captions, then you can use a tool called Google to SRT. Look it up. It's on sourceforge.net hosted. It's a free software, open source software, which takes, you give them the link of your video. It loads the closed captions you have there in your native language, and then it can use Google Translate to basically translate your closed captions into any other language. It produces an SRT file for you, and this one you can just upload on your video editing page, and then you have a closed captions for other languages as well. Of course, it's Google Translate. It's not perfect, but it's free, so I'm using that. Started recently to use that. All right, let's go ahead and do the next keyword research for a new topic. Yeah, please type into the chat at Morningfame so I can easily see that, and a search term you would roughly target for your next video. All right. Let's see, I'm just looking up a few questions. Sorry, everyone. It's really hard for me to keep up with all your questions. Underdog strengths. You just had chest dip versus tricep dip and chest dips versus tricep dips. You're wondering about a search term, whether you should use singular or plural. The point is actually at this point, what are the search bar suggestions telling you? So chest dip, I think it's a certain routine, right? And we already see here chest dips versus tricep dips, which is a search term people are using. I think the singular, all right, both is existing. Yeah. And the singular versus tricep dips. No, that was plural. Here we go as well. Now we can compare those two. Let's see here. Here we go. Of course, that's now I opened that not for your channel. It's still the previous channel we worked with. So ignore the. Oh, that's the wrong one. Tricep chest dip versus tricep dip. Chest dips. And here we go. Now it's the correct one. This top one is certainly less competitive. You have to see for your own channel whether this one is low competitive enough for you. But in this case, it would say that's a very important step in your decision process. You have these two search terms. They both are used, so that's okay. Yeah, you have green checks here. If either of them would have a red cross, I would rather go for the one with the green check. Then the next decision is, how are your grades? And in this case, I would certainly go for the upper one because here it's a high risk. As you can see, this channel, it's not your channel in this case, but this channel is well below the gateway video. So having these E's here already tells you it's very competitive, too competitive for your channel. And even looking at numbers here below, how far the distance between your channel and the gateway video is well too high. Yeah, sometimes you can think about an E. If it's pretty close, then okay, maybe we take this extra bit of risk, yeah, in order to rank. But here, no, this is too competitive, the lower one. So I would go for this top one, even though the search volume, it's much lower than the search volume for this one. Of course, you might think going for the lower one because there's much more search volume to take, but it doesn't matter. If you don't rank for the search term, then you don't get any search volume, right? So better go for one where you actually can rank, and then you get a large piece of this search traffic, than getting no piece of a larger pie of search traffic. Yeah, that's the thinking. So first of all, make sure you only consider search terms that get a green check. Next, look at the grades and only go for search terms that give you good grades. And then the third step, if you have multiple search terms that have good grades, then look at the search volume and go for the one with the more search volume. But don't mix up those three steps, because then it would not make much sense anymore. Okay, we have a few search terms. Let's have a look. YouTube video ads optimization, spending time in the woods, for old dogs. Let's do YouTube video ads optimization. I don't know because for the reason actually, it's a little bit like this. The YouTube advice niche is a very interesting one because everyone in this niche already knows how to do proper SEO. Yeah, so there usually, if you look at the relevance score you usually get in the ratings, yeah, then it's quite easy to get an A for relevance, because all other channels don't really well optimize their videos for the search term you're looking at. And so relevance is really a way to get your foot in the door, because if you're really setting yourself apart with highly optimized metadata, then you can sometimes make up for maybe a little bit worse grades you have, these first 3 grades. But in the YouTube advice niche, usually the videos are really highly optimized. So there you really have to pay special attention to that as well, to properly position your video. And I don't know, SF Digital Studios, were you the person who sent me this recommendation? Actually, it seems that YouTube video ads is a topic that where not a lot of content is out there. Someone recommended me to do that on my channel. I'm of course not really focusing on video ads, but certainly some topic I will at least do a few videos sooner or later about it. All right, let's have a look. SF Digital Studios, here's your channel. So let's look what we have already. You said YouTube video ads optimization. Optimization actually is not a search term. We have to take these suggestions into consideration, but tutorial, maybe that works. I mean, you're talking about optimizing your ads. That is too competitive here. No, these are ease and it's very far apart from the gateway videos. So this is not something where I could say like, okay, we go for a little bit more of risk. That's too risky. You probably won't rank here. Let's see what we can do here. This one is long tail one, but certainly I assume you are not talking in Urdu or Hindi. Ads campaign tutorial, ads targeting. Optimization is about targeting, right? If you optimize your ads, then you're thinking very heavily of which persons you want to target with your ads, right? So I would assume this would still fit the bill of your video you want to do. Again, that's the thinking. Think about the expectations people have when they find your video using this search term. So the choice of search term is very important, especially if you already did your video. If you didn't do it yet, you can adjust the content of your video according to fit what people will be expecting when they search this search term. This already looks great. Here we have an example where the ease are not too bad. I mean, your engagement is 8 and 11 is the gateway video, so it's very close. 156 for views, and the gateway video is at 431. So it's also not too far away. Actually, a very interesting idea. Usually, your channel drives less views than the gateway video has here. Yeah, you usually drive 150 views in the first few weeks of your lifetime of your videos. So that means you're behind the gateway video, and this certainly makes it a risk for you to rank for this search term. Let's see the gateway video at which position it is. Position number 5. Yeah, the general thinking is if you are having better statistics usually than the gateway video, then you have the chances to rank at the spot where the gateway video is currently at, or maybe even a little bit higher. So roughly rule of thumb. And since the gateway video is position 5, and certainly we want to have a top position, all right, this looks good here. And we also can take a lot of advantage by making high relevant metadata. And one thinking here, I mean, having it looks quite close, right, with the views. But frankly, it's still, I mean, it's more than twice as many views. There is actually one of my users this week published a tip on Morningfame. Everyone who is a Morningfame user will see this tip in the weekly email this week, which I find really interesting actually. If you have this situation, yeah, and we really want to make this work, because everything I see here, it's looking good, but it's a little bit risky, yeah. I would rather go for a different search term, less competitive one, to really make, yeah, better be safe than sorry, yeah, to play on the play it safe a little bit more. But there is an opportunity, and that is the tip some user gave me. You see that the views are not on par with the gateway video. But what you could do is you say, like, you really want to target this. You really want to push your channel forward, yeah, to increase, yeah, to make a bigger leap than you usually could naturally. What you could do here is, the views are usually too low to rank here, but you can use all your social media outreach for this video in particular. Do special promotion for this video on the same day you publish it to this time really push the views more strongly than you usually do. Yeah, and with that, make sure that you drive up the views a few hundred views more, so you really improve your chances to make it in these search terms. Yeah, when you research that, you could either wait a little bit longer that your channel grew bigger and actually is able to drive those views naturally, or you could push that artificially by going to social media and publishing the video right away. This way, of course, it's a little bit difficult if you don't have social media outreach that much. How to then reach an audience. A good tip usually is Facebook groups where you really engage are really an integral member of the group. So it's okay for you to post content because people know that this is genuine advice you are giving them. Yeah, and then it's okay to post stuff like this because especially if you are in an advice niche like this, I know that from my own experience because I tried to find ways to promote my video on social media as well. And for example, on the Tube Ritual group, I was able to post a few of my videos. Those as in particular that didn't mention Morningfame because I didn't want to promote my tool along the way, but giving genuine advice, that was very well received because I am a known member and a helpful member in this group. Not recently so much anymore. My time is really limited, but back then especially. So people were happy to see my videos about YouTube advice in that group, and I was able to post that and really boosted my views according to that. I looked into Reddit, for example, which is really a great way to boost your views a lot. Because huge groups are there, huge masses of people will then flock to your video. But you really have to be careful about shameless self-promotion there. They really don't like it. It really depends on the niche you are in. For example, if you are in a DIY niche, then there are subreddits which really welcome you to post your own projects. Yeah, they want to see what you are doing. It's the purpose of the subreddit. So it's okay to post your videos where you show your DIY projects. And that's a great way to get views from there without building your community yourself. Like on Twitter, for example, it's much harder to get outreach on Twitter because there you have to grow an audience yourself as well, like you have to do on YouTube. And you already know from YouTube how hard it is. So it's good to tap into existing communities, but there you have also work to do. Less than building your own community, but it's still work to become an integral member so you don't appear as someone who does shameless self-promotion. So assuming that you have the opportunity to push your views a little bit with social media, then you can go for this search term. Yeah. By the way, one thing that does not work is running that as a YouTube ad itself. The views you pay for a certain video don't count into the algorithm. Yeah, so that's not a viable solution to push the success of this particular video in itself. All right. Haunted road media, a very good point. Yeah, what we assume here is that along with the statistics you see here, that especially your watch time is on par with the other videos that you have here in the search results. If you perform below average, then usually what those videos get, I mean, of course, we don't know how much they get, that's secret data, but it's important to keep ranking in a top position on here on YouTube. You know, the point is you're doing your best here to target a search term that where the competition is not too high for you, so you can really make it into the search results. And in the beginning, you have an extra boost just by the fact that your video is new. Yeah, a new video, that's roughly the first few days up to a week. It's hard to tell how much the time frame is, as at least the new tag, sometimes you see a small new symbol along the video on the YouTube side. When you are a viewer and look through the videos, you can see that this tag stays for a week, I think. So at that time you have a boost to have a better ranking in the search results. But especially after this new video boost is away, your video rank will go down in rank again if in particular if your watch time is not up to speed. So it's very important to have proper watch times with your video. All right, assuming that this is the search term you want to go for, let's go here. Because we know now that the grades here are not ideal. I mean, ideally you get a D, 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 A. Yeah. We are not there yet. We know you will do some more social media outreach, so you push the views and make up for this E here, but still it's not ideal. You really should use all your opportunities you have. So that means certainly we will optimize this video to 100%. Yeah, we don't do anything less than that to really make sure you don't lose out on any chance here. So we just go for the full search term in the title, nothing else, because if we add something, it goes down. We now see 36% here because we added something in the end. Now we have 40%. So this is the way we go here. And then we write a description in which this search term appears as well. In this video, I give you 10 YouTube video ads targeting tips that you can use to reach the right audience with your video ads. Yeah, that's what the video is about, I would assume, right? So here we have now the full search term included as it is here, and with that achieved 20%, the full reachable percentage for that. So let's go further here. Let's remove some things. These bottom ones are not too interesting. Let's just go for these YouTube ads, video ads, YouTube. That's not specific enough, wouldn't help YouTube understand something better. Mind, YouTube could mean anything, right? Video advertising, video marketing, video advertising, all looks good. Let's go here. We have the full search term in there. Ads campaign, tutorial, that's one that we tried before, of course, because it's certainly up our alley. For your business, I think that goes as well. Well, we are already at 100%, but still we have so many good. Yeah, maybe you talk about the costs as well. So let's include this Also, now we have a good set of search terms as tags that really describe the topic of your video. 100% perfect. And with that, we maximized your chances to actually make it in the search terms. I mean, it's on the edge, right? As I explained it. So we have to use all the chances we get. And by the way, one thing I wouldn't do here is to add more tags that are tangential to your video from the topic standpoint, because that risks confusing YouTube what your video is about. So all these tags really have to be spot on describing what your video is about. And I hope I did this here. I mean, I don't know, video marketing, maybe that's something that is something that is not really about ads by itself. Maybe it's in a broader sense. Yeah. If you really want to squeeze out the latest the tiniest parts of your tags and what keywords you're using, search terms you're using, then in this case, if you wonder about this, is this topically relevant? That's the purpose of the tags, yeah? Namely all the metadata, to explain the topic of your video to YouTube. And it's not a good idea to include stuff that leads away from the main topic. And video marketing, I'm not too sure. Could be, could not be. What I do in this case, I take this search term, video marketing, and I do a search. Yeah, video marketing. Yeah. Do people who search for this search term, wow, irrelevance, this one is so crowded with people having highly optimized metadata. Anyway, I'm digressing. Let's look at the search results. Video marketing trends, video marketing. This is about statistic, video marketing strategy, content video marketing, which is not ads, by the way. That's really, I mean, for example, on my channel, I market my Morningfame tool as well, right? But I don't do it with ads, which I pay for, but instead I do educational videos, which are pitching sometimes the value of the tool, where it's helping you to apply best practices, of course. This is content video marketing, so it's already kind of going into a different direction. Strategy, that's, yeah, it's more in a broader sense. If you see this, it's not just about ads. There are so many marketing techniques you can apply, yeah, that just talking about ads is too narrow in a sense. Yeah. So I would say in this case, just to make sure, I would remove this tag because that's too broad. Yeah. Video advertising, that's spot on because it's about ads. But marketing, there's so much more to it. So try to stay on focus with your tags to really focus on the topic the video is about. So I removed this one. All right. That's the idea behind it, right? And of course, we could now extend the description a little bit to include more of those search terms. But since I already talked so much about this particular case, let's move on to the next one. I hope this helps. It's quite an interesting case if you really need to squeeze out the tiniest bit of opportunity to really make your video rank, then that's my thoughts about it. Do you have any questions so far? Tech depths, sorry, I don't understand your question. Yeah, a good point. Video quality, you were talking a little bit about watch time, right? Tips for audience retention. A good point. Yeah, really important. Seriously, if you think about what can you do in order to become more successful, yeah. Today we are talking all about SEO, yeah. But SEO only works in tandem with good quality videos, videos that people can enjoy. Yeah, if you don't do videos that people enjoy, then SEO won't do you any good, because even though you might start ranking at first, YouTube will soon understand that the people who find your videos in search, for example, don't really enjoy the video, short watch time, and then YouTube will start ranking your video lower, lower, and lower. Yeah. If you do a really great video, for example, Brian G experiences this quite often. He is, of course, doing top-notch SEO, right? I mean, yeah, I learned so much from him. So at this point, he is all good. But since he also really works on watch time quite a lot, doing really great audience retention, he is even experiencing to at first his video ranks for the search term he's targeting, let's say at spot top number 6, and then slowly the video ranks even higher, higher, and higher, because it is more enjoyable than the other videos even. Yeah, he has more watch time and all that stuff. So really that SEO works in tandem with high quality video, and watch time is really the core to this. Of course, thumbnails with high click-through rates are a really important factor as well. These two, I would say. 3, yeah, watch time, click-through rate with great thumbnails, and SEO. If you do these 3 things great, then you really have a good chance to grow fast. But watch time is very interesting, because when you do this right, everything else will grow with it. Yeah, your people enjoy it more, so they are more likely to subscribe to your channel. They are more likely to engage in comments. They are becoming more loyal to your channel, so they keep coming back to your channel to watch new videos, which in turn increases the views you get in the beginning, which in turn sends better signals. Yeah, your subscribers send good signals about your video to the YouTube algorithm, and then the YouTube algorithm will understand, oh, that's a great video, I should promote it more. Yeah, and this will get the ball rolling. So watch time is really the core in your success. So the tips would be at this point, very good point. Audio is really important. Yeah, image quality is not so important. First, you have to get your audio right. That it's just good. Yeah, I mean, my audio, you can say it's not the best audio, to be frank, but it's good enough to listen to. Yeah, it's crisp, clear, not much noise in the background, all that stuff. So that's a good quality. There are some videos out there which were crackling and all that stuff. That really turns people away from the video. That's an easy solution, for example. By the way, I'm using this Techstar mic here. Here you go. Very cheap. For example, Rodney B. Hunt here on the channel, he's in the chat. He is, I did a review about that where he compared how it sounds with another microphone compared to this one. Really interesting to see. Just 20 bucks, 25 bucks or so, really cheap. So yeah. And of course, one thing that is really important is to look at what you do in your video, which keeps the attention of people, and where you lose the attention of people. Yeah, and there I did a video about audience retention. Let me see. Because you probably know the audience retention graph in the YouTube analytics. And this one is really helpful. For many months, I worked on improving my audience retention with my videos because, of course, it's important. So the time is worth invested. And here we go. Here is on my channel, one video, audience retention, 3 things I learned. That's where I really looked into this analytics report and found out about what in my videos in particular went wrong and what I could do different. So that's practical examples how to use this analytics report. And then this one here is also a really great video in which I feature Zach DTV, who really does great hooks in the beginning of his videos. And I explain a little bit how the hook, the beginning of the video, influences the attention span of people and how to keep this thinking about the attention of viewers. I really deconstruct this concept here in this video. So these are very good videos. I hope you believe too that you enjoy them, where you can look at what you can do about audience retention. But in the end, it's hard work, of course. You have to figure out how that works for your videos in particular. Yeah, it's for every video it's different. Yeah, there are no standard tips, so to say, direct tips. If you do, for example, advice, then it's always a good idea to do a list of the top 5 things, the top 5 tips, because each tip is only like 45 seconds long, and you go to the next tip, and this way you always get back the attention of the viewer because you switch to the next tip. But you can't do top 5 steps videos in all niches, right? So it depends what works then best for you. But certainly the audience retention graph, studying that one will give you all the clues. Really, it's just like that. It's really insightful. All right, let's go for the next search term. I hope we get a different niche now as well again. Please type into the chat at Morningfame and roughly your search term you want to target with your next video, and I do the keyword research for you. Hi, Wits for you. Welcome to the stream. Dane, you're welcome. Always a good idea to rewatch videos. It's funny sometimes, yeah. For me, also, I mean, I'm watching YouTube advice videos all the time. Basically, I have heard it all already. But it takes time, and suddenly something starts to make sense the more I hear it. And yeah, so hearing stuff like this again, maybe it makes a click, right? It happens to me all the time. All right. Okay, I would say spending time in the woods. That one caught my attention already the last 2 times. Now I have to look at that one. Thank you for that. Plant-based outdoors. I'm also a very big outdoor fan, actually. So many great experiences I had in the Alps and the Pyrenees and the Himalayas and Cascades. I'm living in Seattle currently, so we have the Cascades nearby. Snowshoe hiking we can do here. It's really fun. But I think what I love the most are really the Alps. Those are crazy. But of course, Himalayas are great. But I never saw the Mount Everest. I had to abort my trip to the base camp one day before I reached it because I got really sick. The wrong food. All right, plant-based outdoors. It seems you're doing it's less of a hiking, but you're doing more the survival stuff, right? Do you happen to know Rudiger Neberg? That's a very famous survival guy. He's crazy. He's crazy. He's yeah. All right. Let's go this way. So since you're doing more the outdoor stuff, survival stuff, let's see. You said like spending time in the woods. So it's more like not hiking, more like doing building a fire, a hut, um, collecting food maybe, right? Spending time in the woods. Okay, this is not a search term. Let's say what kind of what you want to do in the woods in particular. Fire, build a hut, something like that. More like this. Because that is this is by the way an interesting case, especially for all you vloggers out there, right? If you are doing something more like your own adventures, your what you experience every day or what you do as recreational stuff in the weekends that people can follow you along there, then it's kind of fuzzy what your video is about, right? A vlog episode is usually about many things you experienced on that day, for example. So it's hard to tell for what could you optimize your video. Yeah, and you spent time in the wood. What did you do there? Pick one thing. Yeah, if you have 3 things done there, you build a fire, then you build a hut, and then you maybe crafted a spear to go hunting, let's say. Yeah, then you focus on one thing, the one that is most prominent in your video, maybe in the middle of the video. So let's say creating a hut, just outdoor fun. But I bet if the apocalypse comes, you have the skill set, certainly, right? So let's assume, let's say you are building a what did you have here? Let's say take care of simple a fire, used knots, protect your gear, great mods, backpacking. What could I do? Outdoor adventure backpacking. Backpacking for an outdoor adventure. Let's say that, right? Backpacking for outdoors. Rodney, you are of a big help to me. Outdoor adventure backpacking. We have outdoor adventure gear. Let's say this. I mean, it's all about the backpacking, so maybe this one is something you can talk about. All right, we are already at, the views are too bad. This is not even on the edge that we couldn't use. Is there something we can use? Guide, for example. I guess that's very competitive, but maybe it is a approach where we can go more long tail then. All right, subscribers looks already great. Views, it's a little bit too tough still. Here, the trick, to go on social media and boost your views is probably not really doable because the difference is too high. By the way, since I talked about this boosting your views for this particular instance before, don't consider this as if you have an F here. An F and an E is a very big difference, because an E tells us that at least one video in the search results, one video in the top 20 search results you see below here, has less views than your video and still was able to rank in the top 20 search results. If you have an F here, then all videos in the search results have more views than you get usually, yeah, which puts you in a completely different situation, right? So if you are thinking about stretching the limits of your chances to rank for the search term, only consider if you ever get an E. If you get an F, don't do this. The risk is just too high. But an E, I would say here goes, but the difference is still too high here, and even the social media outreach trick wouldn't work. So let's go more long tail. Guide Kitchener. I mean, you know, and this is the advantage of doing keyword research beforehand. Then you can, of course, design the video around it. And here we go. We have a search term that is really not really competitive. You could easily rank here. but just to finish my thought, all right? You didn't do your video yet, and you found a search term you could easily target. So why not do a video about that? I mean, I bet you do sometimes about a gas cooker, what you can bring for food for outdoors, right? To do your picnic, stuff like this. So this would be a great search term. But, and here we go, we have a question mark here. The question mark means that the search volume is unknown. Yeah, everyone who encounters this situation, click on this question mark and then click this button. I did a full video on this to explain what you have, what happens here in this video. In this case, well, why Morningfame does not know this search volume. Yeah, yeah, you will have the chance to watch this video in time, but let me quickly give you the gist of it. The point is this: even though this is a search term obviously people use, because otherwise it wouldn't appear here in the search suggestions. Yeah, the search suggestions work in a way that YouTube just looks at what people are searching usually. Yeah, and only this way YouTube is able to suggest those search terms. I mean, it doesn't come up with those search terms, these suggestions out of nothing. It saw people using this search term in search. Yeah, so that means we have a search term that people use, but we can't say how many actually use it. Yeah, and the reason is, and you already see that in the relevance percentage. Look at that. The average relevance of the videos is 3%. This is, I think, a record even. I never saw such a low relevance percentage for the average. You can see here, right? We have 28% relevance, which is already very low. 30%, 18%, 0%, and it's still ranking here. 0%. Oh my God, 0%. 8 years ago. Oh my God, this is such a unique search term. I never encountered such a situation before. The point is this: it's really that easy, and that is actually what is also described in this video, which you will see linked up here. People are searching for this search term, but YouTube doesn't have any videos about this topic. There are no videos out there. I mean, we have a little bit of a adventure guide here, which is not really relevant because YouTube, YouTube doesn't see any videos that are directly targeting outdoor adventure guide Kitchener. So there are no videos out there. Yeah. And so what it does, it chooses the next best videos. And adventure guide is in the search term. So it looks for adventure guides videos. Yeah, and here's a little bit of outdoor in the description, so that matches the search term as well. So it roughly goes into the direction of what your person was searching for. And showing this is a search result. You see here in the tags, we have a little bit adventure again, outdoor. So it's, you know, I mean, 28% relevance speaks by itself, for itself. It's not really relevant for the search term. But YouTube is showing it because it doesn't have any other videos for it. Here we have something a little bit better. Kitchener is at least appearing here. So the relevance is a little bit higher, but still very low. Yeah. And you can also see 28 views. Yeah, that is the point. Now we have the answer to the question mark. Anyway, let me finish the point here. And now it's going down in relevance. Here it's only adventure in there, and now we have 0% relevance. I mean, after those 3 videos, which are closely related to the search term, it has really no videos anymore on YouTube. You can't believe it, right? I mean, how could it be that there is a search term where YouTube just has a video for it? But in this case, it's the case. We had 3 rather related videos, and then it starts showing videos that are really far away from that. Here we have again outdoor adventure in there. So it really has a tough time to find any videos at all. That means in particular, since they are so far related to the search term, if you would do a video that is highly relevant for this search term, you would easily rank #1, easily. Yeah, I could almost give you a guarantee for that you get on the top spot. But the question is, since those search terms are so far related, it's most likely that those videos didn't get their views from this search term. They were optimized for other search terms and most likely got their views from those other search terms. So if you search Adventure Guide Waterloo, for example, maybe it most likely got their views from this search term. So the views those videos got didn't even come from this search term. Here in particular, this one didn't even come from there. Yeah. So what Morningfame does, it's filtering out those videos because they are not really optimized for this search term and thus didn't get really the views from this search terms. So Morningfame has to ignore them when coming up with the search volume estimate, because we don't want to measure the search volume of other search terms, right? So that is why it says a question mark. But we as human can look deeper here, and we already see, I mean, this video is ranking #1, yeah? And this video is ranking #2. When you do a search, you usually click the first few results, right? Then. But since these first 2 have so few views only, yeah, 28, 62, then, I mean, maybe a handful of those views were coming from this search term. 5, 6, I don't know. Really not that many. It's just a portion of those views those videos got, right? So that means in turn that this search term is really rarely used. So we have the answer here. Morningfame couldn't tell how much search volume is here. But we can dig further and see, like, no, actually the search term is really low. So this would be a bad idea to target, because you're used to getting over 200 views for each video, right? And getting 5, 6 views from this search term doesn't really boost your success of the video, right? So not a good idea at all. Let's go for a different one. Let's see, outdoor adventure. Thanks, Rodney. Outdoor adventures backpacking. Here we go. Here we have a search term which we can use. Wow, Rodney, you're spot on. Thank you very much. It's so hard to think on your feet during a live stream, so I'm glad you found this great search term for him. Yeah, I mean, you already have quite a channel authority with 1,500 subscribers and all that. So it's, I guess, not too tough for you anymore to find those search terms, but still it's kind of hard work to do so. I experienced it with my channel as well. It takes a lot of creativity still. The more you grow, the easier it will get, of course. So let's go for this one. And outdoor adventure backpacking. We have the average here of relevance is quite low, 22%. So we don't have to go for 100% relevance score here, right? We can go a little bit below that because the video anyway sets itself apart from the average quite well, quite easily. So this is also what the tip here is telling us. Linking to a video Brian G did for me to craft the perfect title. It's a really good watch, by the way. To add something in the end that is intriguing for humans to read. So let's say outdoor, don't forget these 5 things to survive. Yeah? Survive. Is this correct? So this is kind of intriguing, yeah, for people who want to pack for their adventure as well. I mean, for example, I always have needles and a needle and yarn with me to stitch my clothing. I have a spotlight with me when I have to go to the bathroom at night, especially when I was hiking in Nepal. They didn't have electricity at night, so that was a must-have. Some other things, I have my list. So I would certainly watch a video when this would intrigue me personally then. And then let's do this outdoor adventures backpacking guide. Yeah, I'm already preparing for something extra here. It is all you need to make sure you didn't forget these extra things that help you in distress. Yeah, for example. All right, there we go. Then we have adventures, outdoor, backpacking, sport. These kinds of tags, I personally feel like they don't make much sense anymore. What Morningfame does here is taking the most commonly used tags from the other videos that are already ranking for the search term we are looking at, the target search term here. And it's obviously used in many videos, but this is kind of the old style, kind of a little bit of history. YouTube had once a feature in the YouTube upload page which suggested tags to the users. Yeah, like the tools nowadays to do for you, YouTube doesn't do anymore itself, but did in the past. And those kind of tags were the ones that were suggested by YouTube in the past. The best practice nowadays is to use search terms in your tags. This is not a search term. Yeah, here we can see that backpacking and then sport, right? I mean, it's now appearing here. Yeah, I started entering this search term. It's now appearing here, but it's only for the reason because I nearly finished entering this search term. I'm rather putting this search term into the mouth of the search bar suggestions. That doesn't mean anymore that it is actually used as a search term by many people. Yeah, if you typed in too much of it. Spoon is probably, spoon is rather something that people search. For example, I only entered 2 letters here and it's already appearing. There are so many others that start with SP that there's really no reason why YouTube would know that I want to enter spoon, right? So it knows it because many other people enter that as well. Yeah. So we use the predictive power to understand if the search term is actually something that people use quite often. Spoon is one. Even just a P, no, it's not appearing then, but anyway, that's the way how you use this search bar suggestions. Start typing in your search term, and if it's appearing in the suggestions, yeah, before you finish typing it, most of it, then it's certainly a commonly used search term. But if you type in too much of that, yeah, with a bracket that's quite unique, you're putting it into the mouth of the search bar suggestion that doesn't have any sense. So this way, it is not a good thing to include. I remove that. Shelter, I think you don't talk about that. Solo adventure, maybe it's a solo adventure, but it's not really a search term. Yeah, in this case, it's showing a red cross. It could mean still the tool is a little bit more playing on a safe side. If there's the red cross, gray reddish cross, it means, do people search it? It's asking you whether that's the case. If you want to play it safe as well, just remove it because it makes not much sense. But you can test it out. Solo adventures. Solo adventures. That's the singular. Yeah, let's use this instead. Solo adventures. That's a good one. Yeah, if it's a solo adventure, then it makes sense. If you go with friends, of course, you wouldn't use this tag because it's not on topic. Yeah, solo camping, survival, gear makes sense. Let's see what we have here. Outdoor adventures, backpacking, of course, we include because the title is including more. We make sure that we really target this search term this way. Outdoor adventures beginner, is that maybe a beginner's guide? Then add that. Funnel vision channel for kids, no, this is not something we can use. Again, let's see, for example, this one. Let's go suggestions plus for this search term. Maybe we find something interesting here. It's showing the same adventures, solo adventures. Maybe we can extend on that. If you would climb the Hardstone, I think it's an area where you can hike or something. So then you would use that as well, but I don't know where you hike. So yeah, this way. I don't add that. Let's see what we have here as well. Hearthstone is probably quite, yeah, common. All right. I would say in this point, so you would continue doing this. Maybe we add that here as well, since that was not many people searched this, but it explains the topic of the video, which is the main purpose of the tags, all metadata in particular. So adventures guide, gear, all fits. We have a little bit more. And here I would, for the description, I wanted to add backpacking guide, adventures backpacking guide. Maybe we add backpacking guide. Backpacking guide as well. Yeah, guide for beginners like this. And this one is now also included here in the description, so to say. That's what I intended to do here. It's always underlining the longer search term. These are overlapping in this case. so it's not underlining this one, but still, I mean, it's in the description as well to make it a little bit denser, to have a little bit more information that are directly search terms used on YouTube for the YouTube algorithm to analyze. All right. Hi, Crispy Dips. Welcome to the stream. I'm afraid we are nearly wrapping up. We can do one more research today. All right, I would say let's quickly move over to the next one. Who wants another research done? Write in the comments at Morningfame and a search term you want to roughly target with your next video. How to deal with stress at work. It's a good thing. Let's wait a little bit before so others have a chance as well. How to saw a large chainsaw mill. How to take photos with Samsung Galaxy S9. UFO sightings. Fortnite is crazy competitive, unfortunately. But yeah, let's do a competitive one. What is really competitive as well is how to take photos with Samsung Galaxy S9. Let's go for this one. That makes it tougher for me, certainly, because yeah, competitive niches. I mean, optimizing your metadata, especially if you use Morningfame for that, becomes quite easy to do, right? But the crux of successful keyword research is in finding a less competitive search term. And especially if you're a small channel and you're in a very competitive niche where like tech gear, Samsung Galaxy, I mean, this is super competitive. There you have a big time. But we have luck today. Inam Gafur, you are a crazily big channel already. So you're in luck. For you, the competition is not so tough. But let's see how fast I can, how to take photos with the Samsung Galaxy S7. What did you say? S9. Is this already a search term? That's interesting. S7 is searched, S8 is searched, but S9 is not searched yet. But really yet, I just assume that is the case because this is a new video, a new phone just released, I guess, right? Am I right? When you are reaching 5 million subscribers, then you can say back then, today, you were small. S9 is probably newly released, so people are not searching that search term yet. Yeah, but it's a good idea to target it anyway. Yeah, you can see that by the red cross here. Morningfame is asking you, do people search this? Yeah, Morningfame doesn't know. It could be still the case. Oftentimes it's not if it's showing the red cross, but it could be the case. And certainly in this case, you can say like they don't do yet, but they will, because the S9 will get popular, no question, right? So it's ignore this red cross because you are targeting something that will take off in the future. All right, still we can say, all right, okay, now I'm starting to understand why you say you are still a small channel. Compared to your subscriber count, you have quite low views, frankly. Yeah. This is, I don't know, did you do a shift in what your channel covers? Because that usually makes subscribers go inactive because they're not interested in the new stuff you're publishing nowadays anymore. The active subscribers portion of your subscribers is rather low, frankly. So you're struggling with recent uploads. Yeah, I guess so at this point. So that means, by the way, I'm happy to, sometimes people ask me about this. We have these 4 grades here in the keyword research tool. Yeah. And usually getting an A for relevance or at least a B is quite easy. I mean, that's oftentimes the case. Yeah. But these first 3 grades are usually much harder to get good grades here. But in your case, in your special case, it's so that you have a ton of subscribers, but since most of them are inactive, you don't get much views. That means that it's easy to get a good grade here, but it's hard to get good grades here. But that's the power of why I designed actually the grading like this. Because only the combination of these grades give you a good estimate how high your chance is to rank. Yeah. But what oftentimes happens to many people, and they ask me about that, they have a good grade for subscribers and likes and comments because they have a big and engaged audience, but they get a bad grade for views. Yeah. And then they ask me which of those grades is more important. Yeah. With the hope that, okay, we can say like, yeah, I mean, SEO is the reason why we do SEO is to get views. So we don't have views yet. So we hope to get by ranking here the views we need. So maybe we can just ignore the views grade, right? That's the idea. But unfortunately, that's not the case. Because the idea to get the views up here above the gateway video, having more usually, is that the views reflect your active outreach you currently have. Yeah, how YouTube works usually is that it shows your video to certain people. That's certainly your subscribers, and also to other interest groups. I call them semi-subscribers. You can look for this video on my channel where I explain them. People who often watch your channel but are still not subscribed. Some interest groups who keep coming back even though they don't subscribe. Where YouTube found out that those people are also enjoying your content. So YouTube is pushing out usually the video at first to those people where it already knows that they enjoy your videos. And that gives back positive signals to YouTube. And based on that, it decides to do more promotion for you. Yeah. So it's basically what also, it's not the same thing, but Daryl Eve often talks about the baseline views. Yeah, he talks more about what you get on a daily thing. I'm talking about a particular video more in this case. But when you grow your channel, you can expect a certain number of views usually, kind of a given. Yeah, if you keep up your quality content, you produce a quality video again, that is a topic where you already know your audience is interested in, then if you don't do a big mistake, then you can basically be sure that your video will reach a certain number of views. For me, for example, it's currently 400, 500 views per video, which I usually get for each video. Yeah, that's basically my baseline. And this is very important to send to happen for each video again, to send YouTube the positive signals, and with that that YouTube becomes willing to do even more promotion for you. And this baseline is reflected in this grade. Yeah. So it's really the case you can't ignore any of those grades. All of them have to be great to make sure that you usually send those positive signals that you need in order to succeed in ranking for the search term. Yeah, and in this case, unfortunately, it's not the case. So we have to look for a different search term. So using the camera of Samsung Galaxy 9, camera Samsung S9. Oh, I wanted to enter S9. Let's go a different route because the search term we just had was too long tail already. We couldn't go any more long tail. We have to take a different approach, and that's a very short one, which already is not too bad. I mean, you still get Fs here, but as we see here, we are like not too far away from the gateway video in a sense. So if we go more long tail, maybe we can do something. S9 Plus versus iPhone X. If you do your keyword research beforehand, then you might just do a video about this. Yeah, and this is unfortunately more competitive. Usually it's less competitive going more long tail, but it's not always the case, of course. What do we have here? Samsung S9 best way this way I'm not creative enough to come up with an alternative. Let's rather look at more awesome. Rodney comes up with one as well again. Let me quickly try it myself. We go to step 2 to this is a very spot on video obviously here. Maybe we get some suggestions in the keyword tab that helps us. Hidden features. We go for the uncommon keywords because you are rather a small channel in that sense for this very competitive niche. What do we have with iPlon? Hidden features. S plus camera review. That's probably also very competitive. Even more competitive than the new one. You had Samsung Galaxy S9 camera tutorial. Rodney. Galaxy. Rodney is you are such a big help. S9 camera review tutorial. Let's go review, for example, first. It's quite tough. Tutorial. Wow, Rodney, you're a magician. It's incredible. Now we have the search term, and yeah, that's it basically. You can go for that and rank here. Perfect. I would say since I did these keyword optimization quite a lot already here. We stop at this point, but one note, we have a relevancy B here. Yeah, the average is 56%. Yeah, hi Brian, how are you doing? Ask Rodney. Maybe he goes the route of doing consulting. One note here, the relevance is quite tough here. The videos below are already quite optimized for this search term. So in this case, you should max out your relevance when you go into step 4 and optimize your metadata. Just using the title, coming up with a sentence where you exactly have your target search term in the description as well. And then, of course, adding tags that are highly relevant for that. Test, review, reimagined, something like that. which fits here, so you get to the top as much as you can. You will never get an A for relevance here because the other videos are already so relevant. So you can't set yourself apart that much that you can get an A. But it's really important to get the percentage up as much as you can. Here, the remaining 3 percentage points are missing for the tags here. So maybe tweak a little bit here and then you're good to go. All right. I would say this is the last keyword research I did here, but I saw that you had a few questions in between in the chat. Let me see. Crispy Dips, if you get views but no subscribers, then certainly work on your watch time. Yeah. I don't know. Have a look at your, especially in the Morningfame report, you can easily see that how much watch time you get from visitors, as I call them there. Have a look how much watch time you get there. The goal would be to improve the watch time at first. That's the first step, because then visitors enjoy your videos more. It is common that subscribers give you better watch times than visitors or non-subscribers because they already know that you do great videos. Yeah, and even though they are not like perfect for the common audience, like new people who don't know you yet, your subscribers already know what they get from you, so they keep watching for longer usually. That's really rare that that it's the other way around. I only had one case before where it was the other way around, where non-subscribers watched for longer than the subscribers, and that was really just one case ever. That was a restaurant review channel. And they were just a couple who went out and filmed their dining in the restaurants that were in their neighborhood or where they drove, and then reviewed the food there and everything. And it's kind of like for the subscribers, it's more like a vlog, and for the visitors, for the non-subscribers, it's more like something where they search for a particular restaurant they plan to go to, and they find the video from this channel. And of course, they are interested to watch the whole video because they just plan to go to the restaurant and they want to know how it is and whether it's good, or they should look for a different restaurant. So they have a higher interest in watching this video, yeah, because of their planning. But the people who are subscribed, they're of course still interested to see them going to the different restaurants and maybe find a secret tip in one or the other episode, but they don't actually plan to go to all those restaurants, right? So for that reason, they have shorter watch time. Very unique case, but usually subscribers have shorter watch time, longer watch time, sorry. So look at the watch time you get from your non-subscribers or visitors, as I call them, on the Morningfame report. You can either look in the traction tab at the top where you have your channel averages, where you click on the full stats button, or you can look at the morning. Let me quickly show you that. Or you could look into the. My computer is quite slow currently. Yeah, here we go. Here in the traction tab at the top, you can see watch time by visitors. Here I have close to 4 minutes from visitors. And here, of course, from subscribers longer. And in the workshop tab for watch time, you can also see that for average from visitors, which is for me above expectations, which I'm happy about. Here sometimes it's even giving you tips about how to improve that. So work on that first. And then my next tip, once you get that up, and above expectations, I would say, at least above expectations as it's reporting here. Then next, work on the engagement you get from your visitors, non-subscribers. Because once they engage more, give a like, and especially if they are eager to comment, they become more likely to subscribe as well. Yeah, and here, even if they don't subscribe with the first video, they will keep coming back, because YouTube is designed in a way that if a visitor, a non-subscriber, is finding a video of yours and is having a long watch time and even leaves a comment, then YouTube will recognize that this person enjoyed the video. So on the home screen, for example, or wherever this person gets recommendations, it's likely that YouTube will recommend your videos again. Basically, this person becomes what I call, personally, no one else is using this term, what I call a semi-subscriber. Have a look on my channel. There is a video about that where I explain this concept. So when they come back again and again, at one point they are more likely to subscribe and finally become your subscriber. So that would basically be the strategy. If you get good views but don't get subscribers, to slowly make it more intriguing for them and slowly get them to finally subscribe as well. All right. Darker room, I have a problem. I can't use my current YouTube channel on Morningfame because I registered the wrong YouTube channel. Just send me an email and I will take care of this. I will respond to you after the live stream, and no problem, we can take care of that. All right, what do we have here? Tireless Tangler. I'm new and I used the keyword system for my last video. Title wasn't as good specifically for the video because stuck to the system. What can I do to make it optimized but still describes video? Yeah, it's hard to tell at what point you're currently at. When you are getting started, with the keyword research along the way, how the keyword research tool works, there are two important things to focus on. The first one is that you look for search terms that are less competitive. Yeah, that is really important, because if you're targeting a search term that is too competitive for your channel, then you won't rank, and everything else you do, like the optimizing the metadata for your video, doesn't help at all, because if you don't rank, lost opportunity. Game over, so to say. So the first step you really have to pay attention to is here in the search tab, if you enter the search terms you're looking for, is to get good grades. Like these grades here are really great. Yeah, what you should get at least is a D, 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 B. Then this is a search term you can target. By the way, pay attention to it. Should have a green check here as well. If you have a red cross here as well, it's probably a search term that no one is using, and then you will rank. But since no one is searching that, then you won't get views thanks to that. So this is the first step you really have to pay attention to. Otherwise, everything else you do has no use. Yeah. If you have a hard time to find less competitive search terms where you get good grades here is a link, can't find good search terms, where I put a playlist of 3 videos that give you hands-on advice how you can find those better search terms. And then if you found that good search term and continue to step 4, optimizing your metadata, then pay close attention to these tips you have here. Depending on what you enter here, these tips change. Now we have tip 3, and it's explaining you what you can do extra. Yeah, if you do this, for example, yeah, something in the beginning, then you have a different tip here. That's number 2. Just now we had tip number 3. Now it's tip number 3. And it's recommending you to not have something in the beginning before your target search term. Yeah. So this is true for all description and tags. You always have tips here, unless of course you do a perfect job, then the tip goes away. Just look at this. Yeah, look what is written here. And I think this way you will achieve a very high percentage for relevance when optimizing your metadata. All right, I hope this helps. Yeah, so this way you can get slowly into the keyword research process, which the whole tool evolves around, and is of course best practice. Just ask Brian, who's in the chat. This is basically his approach as well. All right. Any more questions about that? Otherwise, I would say we wrap it up for today. Cinema Dreams Entertainment. Yes, if you get Fs and Es, that is basically reflecting how competitive your niche is. I would assume that you're doing movie reviews. That's certainly a very competitive search term, search niche, I mean. So your time investing into finding those less competitive search terms is really well invested, because only this way, yeah, if you are targeting search terms that are not too competitive for you, you will actually start to rank, and that way actually get your foot in the door. It's frankly quite difficult, but with the tips I have in this playlist that I just recently show in the footnote below here, here, this one, yeah, this playlist here. I hope this helps you to get the necessary inspiration to find those less competitive search terms. And also, by the way, Brian G recently did a live stream where he gave really great tips how to enter variations of your search terms that probably those big channels who are your competitions didn't think of. So that is then your opportunity to get your foot in the door. It was his live stream on Friday, 10 days back. Just check it out. Really great one. All right. Then Awesome, Simply Tanika. I'm glad that it is working so well for you, this tool. Yeah, let me know anytime if you have any questions about the tool. I'm always reachable via Twitter, via emails. Just respond to any Morningfame email, of course, in the YouTube comments. So feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help as always. All right, it was really great to do keyword research for you today. It was really a tough challenge. I mean, this step of finding the low competitive keywords, search terms, is really a tough thing sometimes. So especially props to Rodney to helping me out here to get creative and finding those search terms. All right. Then I would say have a great rest of your Sunday and see you soon. Bye, my friends.